Okay, coming back, we'll try one more video over on this side. So when we talk about, growth and why these small companies want to get to be the size of BMW in Munich, but this small little company, it works. People use it, very successful, been in business, okay, for over 80 years. BMW, very successful, been in business for a very long time. So, what compares like a small company versus a large company? How can you, all right, we'll say measure? One of the things that's going to, to differentiate small versus large is we want to measure our market share. What is their piece of the pie? So we can measure, okay, what percentage of the industry that this little operation has or BMW has. You can also measure small versus large. How do I know this? By annual sales revenues. You can measure number of employees. And then the last one, obviously, is profits, which is revenue minus expenses. Okay, so this would be the one. So measuring small companies, large companies, it's going to be important that we know, market share. Companies are going to want to increase their market share, annual sales revenues, number of employees working for that particular company. And then really the last one which is profit, which is taking your sales revenue and then paying all of your bills and whatever's left. That would be your profit. So what we would want to try and figure out, is what's an advantage of being a small organization? What's an advantage of being a large organization? Or what's a disadvantage? So a couple advantages of being a small organization: you have cost control. You can change quickly. Something isn't working, go ahead and change it. It can happen like that. You have personal service. Not to say that the bigger organizations do not have personal service, but you get to know your particular community in which you're operating in. Then there's one called low barriers to entry. Low barriers to entry, meaning it's really easy to start one of these smaller companies, one of these smaller organizations. So there are some advantages to operating as a small company. One of the disadvantages is we lack economies of scale. We are at risk to external environment more so than a large company. And then this is us, limited access to funds. So yeah, there are some advantages and disadvantages of operating as one of these smaller little businesses. Let's go ahead and move over to a larger company. Now, there are some advantages and disadvantages to that. We do this. So take, for instance, BMW. One of the main advantages is you recognize the name. You recognize the name. They specialize and, for the most part, economies of scale. They are operating on economies of scale, or have a better idea, or better, oh, give me a word. It's easier for them. Not easier, but better odds of operating on economies of scale. Here, operating, we're going to have greater choice. Now, some disadvantages: lack of control. They are less flexible to change. And with organizations this big, communication among 4 functions is limited. Okay, so with organizations, okay, once again, they want to grow. They can be perfectly fine in what they're doing. Maybe they just do internal growth strategies, which is perfectly fine. They may want to do external growth strategies. We know that BMW has a combination of both internal and external growth strategies. And they're not wrong for being big. There are advantages of being a large corporation. There are some disadvantages, however. So it's really up to you. You can look at it however you want to. But this is going to tie in with the next topic that you're going to see in the video section, which is truly going global. Multinational companies. Multinational companies meaning they operate in more than one country. So it happens, it works. Their success or failure really depends on you. You're the manager. You guys make the decisions. So I think that will end this video. And I don't know if you like it on this side or not, but it may work.